A fashionista, one of the most revered and seasoned Nigerian politician, a one-time special advisor to the president, our guest today is popular for fighting for the people of Bakassi. She is resilient, having risen above the odds limiting women to become one of the Amazons of our time. You meet our guest after this break. This is the Sunday Interview. I'm Jokeli Jadu. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our guest today is an astute politician, a certified nurse, a former member of the Senate and House of Representatives, and she wears many caps. She is Senator Florence Giwa, popularly known as Mama Bakassi. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so let me start by asking you. You're over 70. In fact, you recently celebrated your 72nd birthday.
Yeah.
How have you managed to still look this radiant and glamorous, seeing the decades that you've stored up?
Excuse me, I think it's a good thing that somebody's using the right word, radiant and glamorous, because most times they say, how do you manage to look so young? And I tell them that the idea is not to look young, because old is not ugly. The idea is to age gracefully and beautifully. Glamour is a word I don't use because it's probably a way of life. If you look good, they say you're glamorous, but it's to just age gracefully and beautifully. And my ambition is to leave the world the way I came.
Wow, yes, that would be interesting.
Yes, age is inevitable. The numbers are there, they'll keep coming. But it's for you to be able to manage yourself in good health.
So is there a particular secret, some kind of diet, yoga?
I wish I can do yoga. For the past 20 years of my life, it's been my ambition to be able to do yoga. Unfortunately, I can't find the time. I don't have the patience for it. But there are some things that are not negotiable in my life, like my lifestyle. That's why I'm here in Banana Island by the seaside, which I cherish a lot. And then what I ingest, in terms of food and drink and all that. And then your state of mind, your ability to cope with everyday stress and still remain happy inside you.
Tell me about your background. I know you attended some of the most prestigious schools while you were growing up, both in the country and outside the country. Would you say that, you came from a somewhat affluent background?
No, I don't know. I would not describe it as affluent, but I come from a background that I'm exceptionally proud of till today. Especially with regards to my mother, who actually brought me up. I was brought up by an exceptionally hardworking woman. She was a journalist. At that time, I used to call her a reporter. And this lady was managing, working for 3 newspapers, owned by Zik. She was a Zikist movement person. So she was working for West African Pilot, Morning Post, and Guardian. And then she was also a dressmaker, and also a trader, because reporter salary is very, very small, and then
imagine.
And then she had to give us the best, so she had to. I never saw her sit down still. She was always doing something. Now, as a result of that, I had what I can say a very, very privileged upbringing. My mom wanted me to be a journalist.
I was going to ask you why not.
But she tried her best. She tried so hard. But from doing voluntary work from boarding school, we used to go to hospitals on Sundays to go and help, like take fruits and all that. And I voluntarily agreed to go to the IDH where people ran from, you know, the infectious disease, hospital. So from there, I picked up interest in looking after people, looking after the sick and all that. And maybe it would have been medicine, but I thought that 4 years training was easier, you know, so I took up
the long stretch.
I took up general nursing and qualified before I went to England. By the time I came back to Nigeria, I now set up my medical equipment outfit. And from there, I set up a pharmacy. I employed a pharmacist, you know, got a license. I ended up having 2 pharmacies, you know, one in Ikoyi and one in Apapa. And, you know, so I was pleased to put my profession into money-making venture. And honestly, it was good because I equipped quite a number of hospitals.
Wow. So let me ask you what inspires you. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
Sometimes I say that there are certain people that God sent to this world on a mission. You know, and I want to believe that God sent me to the world on a mission, you know, because I've carried quite very, very huge responsibilities, you know, but God has made it possible for me to deal with those responsibilities. And God has given me a lot of strength, you know, because I've faced quite a lot of challenges and all that, but I didn't know I could be that strong, you know, so, you know, I've imbibed, you know, a lot of
resilience. You want?
Yes, I call it resilience. Yes, ability, you know, to cope. And when you really fail, you walk away and go and reorganize yourself,
and then come back.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you: away from everything that you do, how do you relax? How do you just let your hair down and get away?
I really, really enjoy, you know, the privilege of being on my own.
The solitude.
You know, I enjoy the solitude, even though the children are there, the grandchildren are there. But I do relax. You know, I watch, you know, movie like today. I'm going to see the Black Panther. I've arranged.
You would enjoy that.
Oh yes, I've arranged a private viewing.
Wow.
So I'm going with my family, about 8 of us.
Nice.
We're going to relax and, you know, eat some snacks and, you know, those who want to drink champagne or wine would do that. I've also, over the years, grown to like the red carpet because the red carpet makes me keep my body in shape because I need my waistline, you know, for those evening dresses. I need my waistline to stand the red carpet and, you know, talk about my designer and all that. So that's a very important aspect of my life.
All right, so let me ask you that about that one meal that gets you salivating anytime you just think about it. Your favorite meal of all time?
My favorite meal of all time?
Yes.
Is Gary and afang soup.
Okay. There are two, you know, there are 2 favorite meals. Okay.
But my number 1 meal when it comes to carbohydrates is actually Gary. And then the 2 soups are like my soup is afang and albak, which is like what they call banga soup. You know, but these are very, very bad foods.
For the waistline.
Banga soup is very unhealthy, but banga soup has a lot of oil and all that, even though we try to take off the oil and all that. So these meals are taken as a treat.
Okay.
Which could be once a month and all that, but the thought of it.
Before you even eat it, you're already thinking.
Look, you know, you wait for 1 month and all that. But you see, because my body is so receptive to food, you know, because I believe that if I look at food too closely, I put on weight. And all my life, I've been fighting with weight. My mom was, I will not say a bit, Mommy, please forgive me, whatever you are. I will not say a bit overweight, but she was quite overweight. And I'm told that I look 100% like Mommy. So I've grown up fighting weight. Although she had a flat tummy, she had this and she had this and all that. So I've grown up all my life fighting weight. So because of that, I've had to really, my eating is very, very
restricted
and organized. I will not be a good guest in anybody's home. Because of my lifestyle. Because from Monday to Friday, I eat what is called Western. You understand, like salad, like grilled fish,
veggies,
grilled, you know, stir fries and all that. So we don't eat, in my home, I don't eat African from Monday to Friday. Then weekend, I now tell my cook, please stay up, because my cook is on Nigeria, and just say, everybody, just leave me now. Let me be a Calabar woman, so you can do that, those two soups, and also pankuko. These are all the Calabar delicacies, that I like. Because, you see, I like food. If I'm going out for dinner, I celebrate the whole day. Oh my God.
I can imagine.
I have such a serious love-hate relationship with food. I love food, and I say, my God, I don't like you, but I like you.
I don't like you, but I like you. So let's talk about, okay, you like food. We've already started that. Growing up, would you say you were a romantic person? Did you believe so much in romance? Did you?
I believe I'm a chronic romantic, and up to this old age, I am very, very. I mean, I do Valentine, and tomorrow I'm doing Valentine. I'm, I grew up because that's the way we were brought up, and we grew up in an age where people were more emotional than physical. Now the world is very, very physical. Yeah. But the joy of having somebody that you're in love with, and even if you're not seeing the person, but just
getting letters,
each other through those amazing love letters they used to write in those days, and then it allowed you to observe what I call family values, which I can say with pride that I was able to, let my daughter imbibe that culture, of Coco, my daughter, and I told her that the world is too physical, so she should try to remain more mental and emotional than physical. But I'm still very, very. I call myself old chronic romantic.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about how you met late Dele Giwa. I know your mom was a journalist. Would you say that reading those scripts to her, it kind of inspired?
No, I didn't think. I mean, she wanted me to be a journalist, so the fact that I didn't end up being a journalist didn't mean that
you had to marry one.
I had to marry one. Just things happen. I always don't like to talk much about Dela and I, because I'm still waiting for when I do my book, which I'm trying to now, because I'm trying to work on 2 books. That's why it's taking me forever. I'm working on my book, and I'm working on legislative management, which is what I know today in my career, apart from the medical profession. But okay, because my mom was journalist, so I think I grew up, having a lot of journalist friends. At the time I was growing up, when we were young girls in Adenogonsanya, in Surulere, I had friends like, if you remember Vera Ifodu, was my very, very close friend. And Dele Cole is still alive. Those are people that I had a lot of respect for, that I looked up to. It just happened that there was a party. Okay, before I actually met Dele, I had read Florence snaps on my own for about 1 year. He was such a prolific columnist. Amazing, because he was able to mix, light jokes with very, very serious issues. You understand? So he can be addressing issues, and he was very consistent, he can be addressing issues and still ingest some humor. When eventually I met him, the whole evening we talked about, that column, and when I met Dele, we never left each other again until we got married.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Such a romantic
story. These areas I'm keeping for my.
So before we dig into it, we'll save it for the book. So let me ask you, what has given you the greatest satisfaction in life? If you see it and you reminisce over time, what would you say has given you the greatest satisfaction?
Today, there are 2 things that have given me the greatest satisfaction in life. Number 1 is my daughter Coco, who went to school, went to England at the age of 9, came back, and a very, very decent, nice human being, and got married. But my major thing is that 12 years ago, I thought I should develop more children from Bakassi, because then, if you go to Bakassi today and you're looking for a child graduate, because they're all in the creeks, procreation is very high there, because they don't have all the amenities that we have here, so by 6 p.m. it's night time, and then the men drink that ogogoro a lot, and then the young girls are going around there. So what do? You know, they procreate. Because if you go to the creek of Bakassi and pick up 100 children, you have not done anything. Okay, so I thought about two options. You know, option one was to create a home and bring those children. Then option two was to just pick like 10 into my home and make them my children and put them through the process of growing up like normal children. That's enjoying love, being told up when they do things, you know, hugging them, kissing them, knowing the meaning of emotion, teaching them that. So I now decided on option two, you know. So I started my pilot program with 10 children, which I brought up there, you know, as very, very young kids.
Wow.
And even though today we are 13, you know, and brought them home, made them my children. So when we talk about the number of children I have now, I say that I have 14 children.
Yeah.
You know, and but my greatest joy is that I saw these children, I put them in very, very expensive, elitist kind of schools, you know, so that they can grow up with the children of elites, you understand, and then think like them and become elites themselves, you know. So when they were growing up, like in access school, I would go for, you know, the prize giving day, and sit on the high table with very, very top Nigerians, because they were in Calabar, and at that time, during extreme militancy, you know, kidnapping and all that, Calabar was seen to be safe. So most top Nigerians took their children to that school.
Yeah.
You know, and I sit down there, and these children are clearing awards.
Wow.
Yeah. You know. Now, cut a long story short, today as we speak, 4 of the children are going to graduate this year. Then I have the twins, you know, that came out that saw their 2 parents killed in their presence at the age of 3. And I brought them out of the refugee camp. Now, those twins are in the private boarding school, and are coming 3rd and 4th in class.
Wow.
You understand? These twins from that horrible environment. And then I have, you know, the baby of the family who is bullying everybody because she's a baby. Betty is at the moment, I'm going to Calabar to bring her back, you know. It's at the moment in Calabar. She's going to be 4 in June. And I picked her, I met her at the age of 4 months, you know, and she's growing up speaking English, some French, and all that, you know. So I think those children of Bakassi has given me the most joy.
Wow, wow. All right, we'll go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll still be speaking with Mama Bakassi, Senator Florence Giwa. Stay with us. Welcome back. We spent the last couple of minutes getting into the world of a consummate politician and legislator. She has served in both the Senate and the House of Representatives, also as a member of the Constitutional Conference and member steering committee of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarian. Senator Florence Giwa, thanks for staying with us.
Thank you.
So now let's talk politics now. Tell me about that move into politics, that point where you wanted to, you know, do something for your people. What influenced your move into politics?
You know, I like I said, you know, I keep going back to that lady, my mom. You know, from when I started earning income, you know, she made me imbibe the culture of sharing with people, you know, doing things for the community, you know, because when people say young, I said, look, I don't want to be young. It took me forever to grow. Yeah. You know, when I started my business, when I earn my income, I go back to tell my mom how much, you know, I've earned and all that. She said, you know, you have to put this in that charity. You have to help this community. It actually happened at her graveside, you know, that everybody came. Everybody from the late Abiola to, you know, Sani Zoro, who was the president of NUJ and all that. I saw the honor, and then traditionally, because she's a descendant of the Efi kingdom, so she was also very traditionally as a princess, you know, that she was. And then at the graveside, because I was so distraught, you know, I still am till today, you know. I was trying so hard, and then I think afterwards, Tommy Kimi and the rest of them said, look, you know, the Giwa has gone, this lady has gone, you cannot let those names go, so you have to continue. You understand? You have to continue from where she stopped, you know. So, you know, one thing led to the other. I was given an assignment, you know, I joined NRC. I was given an assignment. Then the next thing, the youth in my neighborhood came and said I should come out and contest to go to the House of Reps. You know, House of Reps. And then I enjoyed the popularity of my mother and then the sympathy of Dele Giwa, because everybody was in sympathy. And okay, I said to myself, all right, you know, if getting to politics would let me continue from where these people stopped, and also serve as, you know, keeping that name, Dele Giwa, that people, Nigeria will still remember that there was such a great man, you know, that was cut down at the prime of his youth and career, you know. So I'll just do that, you know, for in their memory. So, you know, then the burden started from there, you know, till today. You know, and it has also helped because of all the work I did, because I did 4 elections and never lost any. You know, the most difficult one was the last election I did to the Senate, because I did election to Senate twice. So the last one I did at that time, everybody in the sub-region, the Southern, had joined PDP, but I joined APP. Why? Because I got the impression that you had to win PDP to win election. So I wanted to prove a point, you know, that I'm winning that election not because I'm in a particular political party,
yeah.
You understand? But I'm winning that election because I deserve to win the election as a person. So short of being an independent candidate, because when I didn't go through the primaries, my party just said to me, well, you're your own, if you feel
and
you can win.
APP didn't have any structure.
At all, you know, so they said, well, if you can win, you would say, I went into that election and emerged as the only opposition from the entire south of Nigeria. I was the only one that defeated the ruling party. And I keep telling people that from the time I won election to House of Rep, and most importantly, that Senate election, I've remained humble till today, and I have not stopped work.
So 4 times you've won elections in Nigeria. Yeah. How would you describe the inclusion of women in governance, you know, in the over 57 years that we've existed as a country?
It's very, very difficult, you know, because unfortunately in Nigeria, politics is seen as a terrain of the men. And of course, you know, the terrain is very, very difficult, you know. Politics is very, very capital intensive, you know. You need to have some money to do politics, you know. Unfortunately, the way Nigeria is, you know, in business, women don't get anything. You know, if you manage to get anything, they give you the crumbs, you know, left over from under the table and all that. That's what you get. So women are not financially able, you understand, to compete with the men. And of course, the psychological aspect of it, you know, that they go into the field, you know, it's very, very violent. You know, they come up with weapons, they come up with guns and all that. So, you know, for women to succeed, there has to be that tint of desperation. Man, people need me. So whatever it is, I'm ready to face it. You know, you have to develop what I call that extra, courage.
Pastor, talking about, you know, how you were able to hold your own and ensure that your voice was heard, you know, when you were in the Senate, your time as, you know, special advisor, you know, to the president. How were you able to hold your own? How were you able to ensure that, you know, no man would just come and walk over you?
You just have to, you know, like I tell them that at any time it's like I'm a woman, you understand, but I condition my mind. You know, from when I got to, you know, from when I got to House of Rep, I've been embattled to I'm embattled every day. In fact, it has become a way of life that it doesn't bother me anymore. I'm embattled every day. But, you know, I knew that I had to be strong. I knew that I was in a terrain of men's club. You understand? So I had to struggle, you know, and I've enjoyed the advantages. You know, I mean, like when I got to Senate, if I wasn't one of the so-called troublemakers, that's the Okadigbos group, I made a lot of trouble and all that. So I got recognized, you know, from standing by a man that I felt deserved to lead. So I supported him to the end. You understand? And had issues with my boss over that, President Obasanjo. You know, but, you know, we reconciled and we respected each other at the end of it, because I let everybody know that you cannot gag me Until today, you cannot gag me, you cannot. Now the Yoruba say, you understand, you cannot gag me. So I made sure every time on the floor of the Senate, I made sure that I left my hands up there. I make sure that I spoke out loud. And if I try, you will not let me speak, then I go out and call a press conference. Because my issue is that if I cannot get through to you, you will not listen to me, I'll go and report it through to Nigerians. Now, how do I report it to Nigerians? It is through the media. And so luckily, I have very good relationship with the media. The media has been there very, very supportive. The media is my inheritance from my mother and Giwa. So I use the media to send my, message across. So because of that, they will let me speak. Because, if you don't let me speak, I go out and report you, through the media to Nigerians.
So let me ask you what the Bakassi of your dream is. That Bakassi that you go to bed dreaming about and you hope to wake up to see one day.
My main prayer to God and dream and request to this country is for them to develop the Day Spring area, which we went and registered. We have a home. For them to go and develop that area, give them lights, give them infrastructure, and let the people be resettled, because my people are still not resettled. If you tell me that you're building IDP camps, you understand, a resettlement camp, if you go and put people in a place called resettlement camp, they're permanent refugees. You understand? If people are displaced, you should go back and mimic what their normal, abode used to be. And for the people of Bakassi, during the seeding, when President Obasanjo seeded Bakassi, the promises that were made, the conditions that were given or we asked for and that was granted was that we are going to be relocated with our political structure, you understand, our traditional structure, our religious structure, and everything. So you give them and create a town or an island where they can go and set up their institutions, the traditional institution where the king would have his palace, you understand, the church, even their shrines and all that. So let them live in there. Don't go and put them in a resettlement camp. Resettlement camp is not a home.
All right, so last, let me ask you one thing that you know about yourself that a lot of people do not know, but you would like to share with them today.
People don't know that I'm a very private person and a very, very shy person. They don't. Yeah. But, I've told myself that I use the word desperation a lot. So desperation to survive, you have to put it away. I think I've tried to conquer that. I've conquered it in a way that if you put me now in front of 1,000 people and tell me to get up and dance, I'll dance. For them to tell me to talk to them, whatever, because I need to succeed in what I'm doing.
Well, we have been having an interesting chat with a politician, a legislator to our core. She is a former member of the Senate and the House of Representatives, also former special advisor to the presidency, Senator Florence Giwa. Thanks again for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for watching the program. Remember, you can keep up with us by sending your mails to the Sunday interview at tvcnews.tv. We'll be waiting to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jokeli Jadu. Bye for now.